This is the Aniyoo Stylus Pen, costing less than £20, and it claims to be just as good as an Apple Pencil. So here it is. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to see how it does. It's brand new. It says it's made in China. It's come from Amazon, and we're going to see how it looks. So I've gone for the black color because I have a space gray iPad, 9th generation, so it should work just fine. This is the user manual. I've had a quick look at this to make sure I didn't need to fully charge it before I made this video, but it doesn't suggest that I do need to do that. This is the pencil itself, and it does look very sleek and stylish. So there's a few key things. First of all, there is the nice nib on the end, and it comes with 2 replacement nibs in the box, as well as a USB-C charger. I'm going to put that to the side. So at the end of the pencil, we've got the USB-C charger point, and we've got the 3 dotted lights to tell us how much charge this device has. It's a nice black. It's very hard to see in this light, but it is a nice black, and comparing it to some of my iPads I'll show you later. Nice nib on the end, as I just mentioned. It's got a sort of squared off edge here, but very round and smooth everywhere else. And I'm assuming you hold your index finger on the perhaps less round or sharper edge. So we're going to set this up with my iPad and see how it works. So I am first instructed to go to Apple Pencil and then turn off only draw with Apple Pencil. Apparently this is what the instruction manual says, and I'm going to follow the instruction manual as it says. It then says that I need to go down to the scribble function, so I've turned that on. It says try scribble, so I might try that in a second. It says no need for Bluetooth, double tap the top to switch. So I think I double tap the top here to turn it on. And there we are, you can see it's got 3 bars of light. Apologies for any confusion, you don't actually need any Bluetooth. This somehow just magically works on the iPad. So what you can do here is you can write. I press try scribble in settings here, and then it will ask you to write a few words. So I'm going to write a few words. Apparently it ignores my palm, so I'm very excited to try that. Very excited to try. And it has converted it to words as you'd expect. Delete. Scratch out a word to quickly delete it. Oh wow, that is awesome. So I just scratch out any words and it deletes them. Select. Draw a line over a word or circle to select it. So I'm going to circle select it, and it selects it. That is very cool. Insert. Try inserting a word into this sentence. Okay. Tap and hold with your pencil. Okay, and then I'm going to write clean. Ooh, that was very messy. Oh, it actually recognised the word clean even though I wrote it very messy. Join. Draw vertical lines to separate and join words. So separate there or join there. Wow, this is very cool. Super exciting. I'm just going to zoom in again so you can see that. Separates the word, draw another line, connects it. That is very interesting and good to see. After using the pencil for a little bit of time now, I've still got 3 bars of battery, which is great. I've got some great apps I'm going to recommend to you first and foremost, but secondly, there are a few key things I want to note. First of all, my screen protector on my iPad has a little crack going through it, and it's very jarring when I use the pencil. It's this point here. It's not great on the nib, I don't think, so I'm going to replace the screen protector in a minute. But Color Note, it's an app developed by a student, and it is amazing. I've inserted my own templates for the blank page, but it does come with some. It's got some great instructions, so you can add a new note, and then obviously you can pick if you want note lined. But what I can do with this pencil, which I love, is I can rest my palm on the screen while I'm writing. So I'm going to write something now, sorry, because I'm going to have to, I can zoom in while I'm writing, which is also great. I can choose the pencil thickness and so on. So I'm writing this with my palm on the screen. And subscribe. Yeah, very nice and neat. It's a lot easier when the phone is not recording, so I'm just going to pause the recording and write something neatly. Now I'm still getting used to using the pencil on a screen, but as you can see the writing is more than legible. I zoom in and then I can zoom out of the document, but as you can see here I've written very nice and clearly. It comes out very nicely, and actually I'm finding the pencil so far to be very, very responsive. No matter where I move and how fast I move, it seems to not have too much lag. This app Color Note, as I just mentioned, developed by a student, super easy to use, really intuitive. So far I'm loving the app. In terms of other apps I'm recommending, Incredible is amazing. Incredible, however you want to pronounce it. This is where I've got my template for writing, but I love this because I can press this button here and you can zoom in on the bits you're writing. So if I'm writing the date here, for example, I can simply write it here Obviously I've got a weird font, but it inputs it on the line. So this makes it super easy to be accurate and neat and get the best results when you're writing. And then you close that and you've got the full document. Unfortunately, it only lets you have one document at once. So you have to export it after you're done. You can't have multiple things on the run. The last app I'm liking the look of is Nebo. It's free. It comes with these notes, but you can create your own documents with your own lined pages. Okay, so having used this stylus for a few days, mainly 2 days where I used it a lot, I haven't really used it since then because I haven't had a need to. There are a few key things I want to point out. So the interchangeable nibs or tip, you get 2 spare in the box and they screw off and then you can screw them back on, although I think they're on with a bit of a spring. That did come a bit loose when I was first using it, but when I tightened it up, it hasn't come loose since, and you can see that tip there. USB-C, I haven't yet needed to charge this. Before I post this video, I'll check it charges perfectly fine, but I will assume you just plug it in there, and then your LED 1 bar, it tells you in the manual how much they represent percentage-wise, but it's fairly simple really, 30%, 30%, 30%, roughly thereabouts. So yeah, at the moment I've got 2 out of the 3 bars, so I've got fairly good charge. So to turn it on, I mentioned this before, but I've got used to it now. It's just a double tap to turn it off, double tap to turn it on. As I said in the first video, which I didn't realise, you don't need Bluetooth for this to work. It seems to just connect, so you don't need to connect your device to Bluetooth. I'm still loving this app called Collar Note. It's spelled C-O-L-L-A and then Note. It's a really good app. It's developed by a university student. So far I've been loving using it. Another thing to mention is this pen has built-in palm rejection. I believe the iPad thinks that it is an actual Apple Pencil, so it does recognise this and therefore give it palm detection. So when you use your palm, you can still write without any issues as you move your palm over. It's not making any marks where my palm would be. Definitely super useful feature, and I do so far really love this colour choice. There's the white one, but seeing as I've got a space grey iPad, I personally think this black looks the best. So far I'm impressed with battery life. As I mentioned, I haven't charged this at all. It came with 3 bars of charge. I'm not sure if it was completely fully charged or whether or not I had like mostly fully charged. I used it for, I would say, maybe an hour and a half so far. It's gone down 1 bar. It claims I think like 11 hours or something, but I would have to check that. But so far I'm impressed because I've been using it, it's been left on a little bit, and I'm just impressed so far. I'm not having to charge it constantly, and it's not a hard thing to do to plug it in every now and then. As for magnetising to the side of the iPad, I mentioned this before I believe, but it does not claim to magnetise to this iPad. I've got the 9th generation here for this video, and on the side it has got dots for an actual Apple Pencil 1st generation. This pencil does not claim to magnetise, although I have noticed it does roughly do it, although it falls off super duper easily. I've been magnetising it to my iPad case. It's one of those cases that is a flip one, and thus it has a magnet to hold it in place, and I've just been putting the pencil there when I'm not using it, although I have also been putting it away in the box if I know I'm not using it at all throughout that day. As for lag when I'm drawing, I find it very responsive. Let me just turn it on. Yeah, that'll be a good start, wouldn't it? As for lag when I'm drawing, I find it very responsive. It seems to respond to my movement, and when I'm writing, I do feel like I'm writing on paper. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to use super or slow-mo on this phone camera, and I'm going to see how responsive it is. I had a little look at this earlier and I was fairly impressed. There was a tiny bit of a lag as you'd expect, but it didn't seem too drastic. So I'll do a little voiceover, but from that slow-mo video, you should have seen how responsive it was. Generally, I'm super impressed with this. For the price, it is matching my expectations far and beyond, and I'm loving using it with apps on my device. It works when you're Googling things as well. So if you're ever searching for anything on your Apple iPad, instead of typing it with a keyboard, when you've got the pencil, you simply do this. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. For some reason, I put 2 dots on there, but you can write something such as Apple iPhone. Ooh, I missed the I there. Apple iPhone, and it puts it into text for you, and then when you press search, obviously it shows that, and then obviously you got suggestions. So if I put 14 Pro Max, you can see it comes up there. You can use your pencil when you're navigating on pages, of course, although one thing I have noticed, which I personally find a negative, is the fact that when I want to swipe up to go home, I'm leaving you zoomed in here. Obviously, to go home, you swipe up on an Apple device like this. With the pencil, you cannot use it for gestures. So if I try to swipe, it does nothing, it doesn't recognize it. If I zoom out, you'll see that it's being recognized on the screen because it's moving the page, but you can't swipe up to go home. Similarly, you can't use it to access the control center or the notification center. It just doesn't recognize, although my finger does recognize when I'm doing the same actions. Besides that, I am very impressed with this company. The pencil so far has been working excellently, as I say. I love the fact it comes with 2 new nibs. Also the fact it comes with the charging cable, as you'd expect, the USB-C charger. What I will do, I'll test this out as I say, simply plugs in there, and then you plug the end, which is just the general USB, into a plug or into a wall socket, and that should just charge it up. But as I say, I am very impressed with this. 100% recommend it. It's a good size, although one thing I would mention last minute, this is something to consider, is the thickness of a stylus. It's not necessarily the same thickness of a pen or a pencil, so do bear in mind that they might be a little bit thicker. I did find transitioning from writing with a stylus on my iPad back to using a normal pen very difficult. So after I'd used this stylus for perhaps an hour or something doing some work, I then struggled to get back into the habit of using a normal pen. But I'm sure that as with time and as with many things, I'll get into the habit of being able to switch between them and get used to it. Thank you very much for watching. Do look at the links in the description for this product. Really enjoyed making this video, and I definitely am impressed with this stylus. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and it really helps my channel. And I hope to see you on some of my future videos. Thank you very much for watching.